Oh, I got it. I got you. You're gonna like this.
Okay.
I'm gonna do something I don't do very often. I'm gonna do it's what's it called in baseball when guys get like a single, double, triple,
Oh, a cycle.
a cycle. All right.
Oh, I like that.
I'm gonna go a cycle here. We're gonna go
Okay.
one guy by decision, one guy by knockout, one guy by submission.
I love that, dude. What can I recommend the knockout, bro?
I got Jeff Neal plus 200.
I was gonna throw Jeff Neal in there. Sick. Let's go.
This doesn't pay. I mean, it's 20-1. It's still technically a long shot. You know, I like my long shots in the 40 plus range, but we'll take it at 20-1. We're going Jeff Neal by knockout, leg number 1 plus 200.
Okay.
We're going Magomed Ankalaev by decision minus 110, and we're going Khamzat Chimaev. Oh yeah, you didn't like that one. Fuck.
Can we swap to Murphy decision?
Hold on. All right, we're going Khamzat by sub plus 270.
Agreed.
Jeff Neal by knockout plus 200. And then I'm just scared on I am a little scared on
You scared on Murphy, bro? What do you think he's gonna finish him?
No, I think I started overthinking the Dan Ige round 1 and then the split decision. I do think it makes sense, but oh, I know what it is. Oh, dude, you're gonna love this. This is gonna pay huge. We're going Ismail by decision.
Oh yes, man, perfect, perfect.
51-1 now. This is smacking, bro.
Oh, I think this shit is hitting. I love this parlay.
Oh my god, this is fucking hitting. Hold on.
The cycle long shot.
I'm sending this over. I'm sending this over to Mike right now.
I'll put it in our text chat as well. So this is our cycle long shot parlay. You like the Yankees or the Dodgers to win the World Series, Matty?
I have no idea. I that sport's too slow for me. I like knockouts. I like submissions. I like fast shit. I can't watch baseball, bro. All right, here I put it in the Telegram. Mike, you got to put this one on the screen, dude. I really think that's hitting. I'm going right to the counter. I'm going right to the counter, and I'm putting a rack, maybe 2 bands to win 100 on that.
Yeah,
all right, put that bitch on the screen, bro. Get that safe parlay off the screen. We want to see the long shot.
Yeah,
50-1 long shot. This thing's gonna print, bro. Let's see it.
Oh,
guys, when this comes on the screen, you better screenshot it and you better go to the counter because here it is. Look at that.
You and I have not loved a long shot parlay like this in a long time. Sometimes we throw a couple subs together. I love this idea by you, and I love this parlay. A cycle, and if it hits, we'll do it again next week because I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I really like the cycle. The hardest leg is our first leg, you know?
I think so. You're
trusting Bruno Silva to survive.
It is a post new gloves decision, right? So like at the same time, it's like, okay, Nardiev's not a guy with a ton of regional submission danger either. My model loves decision in that fight. So that was a perfect call by you. So there's our 2 parlays. I'm going to play them both as soon as we get off.
Oh, I got it. I got you. You're going to like this.
Okay.
I'm going to do something I don't do.
Well, the fellas did it again. Back-to-back pay-per-views, UFC 307 and 308, with a long shot of at least 50-1. Matty and I enjoyed the 3 minutes we cooked that up. Both of us had such a good feeling about it, and every single leg came through nearly exactly as we planned. A little thanks to RDA's knee, unfortunately, but Matty, you won $100,000 on Saturday from that long shot that we cooked up right here on this show. We do not love to brag, but I was so happy for you. Give me a little bit of insight into your emotions in the day because I saw you were wild and on social media, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, it was crazy because you know how it is when you have that submission as the last leg. You just waiting to get screwed. You're waiting for the round to end or a TKO to happen on the ground or some bullshit. And if you watch my reaction video, you could tell I wasn't even like on the edge of I'm just standing there, right? Because like Khamzat had like 3-4 minutes of ground control there, and then when Whitaker tapped that fast, I couldn't believe it because no one taps that fast. And obviously we found out why afterwards, but I was like, wait a second, what just happened, bro? And
30 left. Big shots. He goes for the neck. He tapped! What? He tapped! 100 bands! for Maddie.
Oh, that was loud as shit.
The sprint to the
yeah.
counter. My whole watch party was dying because I showed everybody the highlights of the watch party. We were all dying at how fast you sprinted out of there, bro. It was so funny.
I've been in that exact scenario a couple times where I was ready to run to the counter and then I got screwed. Remember the Robert Valentine was the third leg, and I was at Circa for that one, and I was literally halfway out my door to the sports book, and then he couldn't get the finish. So it feels good to see a big one go through the hoop like that. But we're always going for bigger. So this weekend, it's not a pay-per-view, but this weekend we're hitting an even bigger cycle parlay.
Yeah, we're definitely going to bring back the cycle. I promise that we'll build a cycle at the end of today's show. And like, a funny story, the journey of this show, you and I together got as cold as we've ever been betting UFC right when we started this show together. But like, now I feel better that a couple long shots and a low have, and by the way, we got a comment in chat that like Neil was not going to knock out RDA. Like, I honestly thought it was live when he dropped him early in that fight, bro. Like
he was getting that regardless. Like, honest to God, I genuinely believe. I hated this. I actually was mad that it went that way because I felt bad for RDA.
Right.
But he said it. RDA was a sit and duck on the feet in that fight. At the end of the day, he's fighting at 170 against a bigger guy with an 87% takedown defense. That his nickname is literally Hands of Steel. What could go wrong?
Yeah,
you know. So I thought that was hitting regardless. Every leg was spot. I mean, you can say that was the lucky leg of the three, but I thought they were all perfect reads. I didn't think we got lucky in any of them, truthfully.
Absolutely. I mean, like this whole thing is exact outcomes like this is a combination of luck and positioning, and you know sometimes it goes your way. And Maddie, a couple pay-per-views in a row, it's gone our way, and we're certainly all we can try to do is get the analysis and the reads right, and we're going to do just that today. Stop talking about last week because we got to move on. There's money to be made this weekend. We got 14 fights. UFC Edmonton's a live card, a lot of Canadian flavor. It's certainly far from a standard run-of-the-mill Apex card. Just some initial impressions of this card as you kind of overview some things that you're looking at. You find it difficult, easy? What are your thoughts on the card?
Yeah, it's not. It does. The card doesn't get me that excited. There's some spots I actually really like, but like from an entertainment value, it's not the greatest card. Main, co-main, not the most exciting fights. They could turn into be though. I actually like some of the fights before the co-main. Look at the beginning of the main card. So, but again, if we hit a big parlay, it doesn't matter. So we just gotta hit a long shot. We just gotta make the card good. And there are some spots that I like. There's also some spots I definitely want to talk through with you, which is why we do the show.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I wasn't super into Neil KO before we talked it through last week, and it's like if I don't win 100K, I'm gonna suplex. Please don't suplex your grandmother. She may not end up surviving through that. She may have to retire from MMA entirely. Yeah. So let's dive in here. Not exactly the sexiest fight that's a guarantee for the cycle here. Jamey-Lyn Horth taking on Ivana Petrović at women's flyweight, first fight of the night here. Petrović actually, Maddie, coming off a fight where she did cash a bet for you. We had round 2-3 sub in that Nali Yang
That's right, yep.
fight. But now she's an underdog, plus 164 against the Canadian rep here. So not the most thrilling fight. Both of these girls maybe searching for their identity a little bit. What do you think with Horth at minus 250?
Yeah, this is a fight we probably honestly should leave off the cycle parlay here. But, I mean, Horth, 4 years older, not a huge not a big ton of fights for her age, right?
Yep.
I think she's kind of like lower volume with some like chain wrestling.
Yeah.
Ivana, I think, is the better reach advantage here. Maybe even the better submission threats. I don't know. Maybe this is a weird fight to me. Maybe Jamie by decision. But I don't really have any interest in playing this one.
Yeah. I more so lean dog here. I was sitting on like a pick'em Jamey-Lyn Horth ticket in her last fight against Veronica Hardy. I am not Veronica Hardy's biggest fan. They're definitely out there. My guy Clint McLean on the Die Hard podcast likes Veronica Hardy. I'm not a huge fan, and like something you see typically sometimes in women's MMA is always the aggressiveness, the fight IQ is not always there. Horth really took kind of the first round and a half off and then put herself in a hole where in round 3, she finally started to get some offense going, but it was too late to nab it on the cards, loses by split decision.
Yeah.
You know, I think Petrović is raw, but you see a style, you see an identity, 2.83 takedowns per 15 minutes, has landed half of them thus far. The problem is in her last fight, she's taken on Na Liang. Wasn't even competitive because Liang, a former strawweight, she was just a lot bigger and stronger. But
Yeah.
I also don't really hold her loss, her UFC debut by decision. Luana Khalid is someone that I've
Yeah.
supported several times. I think she's probably underrated in the division at large. So,
Yep.
the question is, can Petrović get the takedowns? Maybe she fails, maybe loses an ugly decision. I think if she can get them, though, it's probably a dominant one in her direction. And we started to see the tide turn a little bit with women's underdogs in the last couple of weeks. The favorites have been crushing this year. I just think this is a crazy irresponsible number to lay with Horth.
Yeah.
Saw her fight IQ last time, so I think it's going to be Petrović decision small here for me, or a pass altogether.
Yeah. I'm probably on the other side of my decision here. I actually like Veronica Hardy. I think that was a tight split decision. I think it was a solid win, but again, I have no interest in playing this, so I'd rather just move on.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
We'll move on to something that might be in the cycle. So that could be this guy here, Cody Gibson and Chad Anheliger, a couple of hits at bantamweight. Gibson definitely the visitor here, but he's coming off a nice submission win over Brian Kelleher in his last fight. Now, I don't know if a lot of people expected him to finish Kelleher so easily. Anheliger also pulled an upset in his last fight over Charlampius Grigorou. So, Maddie, these guys getting up there, but also kind of fun, scrappy bantamweights, both with finishes in UFC. Canadian, a plus 162 underdog to Cody here. What do you think about this fight stylistically?
How many submission losses does Chad have here?
I think it's,
Six.
I want to say 7.
I think it's 6 sub losses.
I'll take a look. He's got 7 total losses, and Maddie, you were right. 6 of them are by sub.
Yeah.
So.
He's got a 42% takedown defense. He's been submitted 6 times.
Yep.
Gibson has some decent striking, not very high volume. He's also been subbed 4 times in his career, but he has 5 submission wins.
Yep.
Never been knocked out. The fight to end by submission isn't the worst play either way here. I don't think this number's up on FanDuel yet. Is it on this fight?
So we do have it on FanDuel. Gibson minus 210. Are you talking about like a sub prop?
Yeah, props.
We may not have props for this guy yet.
Yeah, it's not up yet.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't hate Cody by sub, but I would hate to have the cycle parlay so early in the night with a sub there. It would just scare the shit out of me.
well, yeah. I mean, we're definitely not going first fight of the night sub, which is a trend that you've been kind of invested in. I don't have Gibson sub super high here. I was able to model this with the extensive data here. I've actually got the fight 62.7% likely to go the distance, and that Gibson sub on Kelleher was a little interesting where he hadn't really gotten it before, but in general, when I think of Cody, I think of tough. I think of scrappy. I think in his last fight, he just said, to heck with this. I'm not messing around at distance. He is really going to just try to get in on those double legs. He coaches wrestling at high school, right? And I think it's the perfect strategy to beat Anheliger. I think minus 210 is a pretty good price on Gibson. I've got him 61%-ish to win this fight, so not really showing value from that perspective. But I do think he's a good favorite, and I think Gibson's UFC analytics may not match how good of a favorite he is in this fight because he's been fighting such tougher competition, in my opinion, than Anheliger. So I really like Cody in this fight from that perspective. Does he end up finding the sub? Do we jam it into the cycle? I'm not sure about that, but I do like him to win this fight one way or another. Maybe sub decision if we got a decent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing Cody by sub at plus 400, which is not a bad number.
No,
it might come in even higher on FanDuel.
Yeah, that's not a bad number. It scares me a little that is so high, and Gibson's coming off a sub loss with Anheliger's. If you do some wiki capping on this fight, you figure out pretty quickly Gibson by sub might be a decent angle, but sometimes chalk is chalk for a reason. I probably would end up playing points at if I get it north of plus 140. I want to say. I could run some math on that real quick. Plus 150 probably is what I'd hope Cody.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to see here. I mean, Cody, I like the money line. I think what you were saying spot on. I mean, when you look at Cody Gibson's losses, he's durable. He goes the distance of Miles Johns, Brad Katona. Those are both good losses. Not the craziest competition prior to that.
Yeah.
But I think
Did he fight Rob? Am I remembering that correctly?
He fought Jamey-Lyn back in 2014. He fought Douglas Silva de Andrade back in 2015. I mean, the guy's fought,
Sure.
solid competition in his career.
Yeah.
I mean, Chad's going to have a reach disadvantage here, the experience disadvantage. I think Cody Gibson money line's a good play here. Can we get there on the sub is the question against him. I mean, Jose Johnson, was able to sub Chad here 2 fights ago, but he hadn't really been subbed in a long time prior to that. It was back in 2017. But is he really facing submission threats since then?
It's a good point.
He did go the distance with Gafurov in Contender Series.
Yeah, and
Gafurov's a guy with 7 career submissions, so he was able to go the distance with him. I think we stay away from it here, but I'm Cody Gibson money line for sure.
Yeah, I think Gibson money line might be something we circle back in the safe parlay, which you might throw out entirely, but I'll still build one for everybody, even if we. So far, the safe parlay has been the 50-1 one in recent pay per views. So
yeah, bro, 100%. I mean, dude, think of it this way: we've hit now, 2 long shot parlays?
Yeah, for 51-1 or greater.
What was the other one?
So it spans
No, the number.
It was 71-1.
Now we got a long shot parlay. You pick one long shot, I pick one, and we put it in a parlay. Method of victory.
Don't we both span sub 7-1?
Yeah, we do.
What about McGee sub at 8-1?
The thing is, bro, you print money just taking Tim Means to lose by submission. It really is crazy.
That's plus 7,100 right there, those two together.
Now we got a long shot parlay. You pick one. All right, so basically we've given out 2 long shots that hit. That's 122-1 odds total. Or
for 2 units.
Yeah, for 2 on 2 units. We are so up because how many have we given out total?
So I ran it. We had done 74 shows 3 weeks ago, so 77 shows now is what we're up to as far as
we've
total.
done that many. That's crazy.
I'll double check.
That sounds really high to me.
It does sound high because we're a little over a year old. So I don't know.
I mean, if we're over a little over a year old, nah, because there's only 40 some fights a year.
Yeah,
we're probably around 50 shows. So and we've given out 120.
I've got USC Edmonton stats up, not Maddie and Austin parlay.
That's true. That's true.
So,
All right, let's move on.
Let's move on because Maddie, this is a fight I did want to talk to you about because when I'm talking about questionable leans, Sidey taking on Garrett Armfield at bantamweight. Sidey, the Canadian on this side, he's coming off a loss in his UFC debut. Really high praise off the Contender Series. People thought maybe he's a player at 135. Now all of a sudden it's kind of a winner go home spot against Garrett Armfield, a guy that you and I have backed previously in certain fights. Trains with Trey Ogden down in Missouri, so. Really, I think this fight is a turning point for both fighters. Cases on both sides. City sitting at minus 162 right now. So what do you think on this fight here, Maddie?
Yeah, I mean, I think dog by decision here is live. I think when you look at Armfield's losses, they're not bad. The Onama loss is not a terrible loss. I think David Onama's a beast.
Yep.
I just don't really think this guy's that good to be a minus 160 favorite here. So I would lean dog by decision here in this fight.
Yeah, I'm Maddie. I think you and I are on the same page here. Where I look at Armfield's body of work and how he was able to grit out a fight against Katona. That I think Armfield's gas tank can be questionable sometimes. He's had some issues with takedown defense. It bit him a little bit in his last fight against Brady Heastand, but those were the issues that Heastand, Katona, these wrestlers that keep coming. Now all of a sudden, City is more of a striker, right? And now I think that plays more so into his wheelhouse where maybe he's the stronger grappler of them. And you said, you throw the Onama result away. It was on 4 days' notice at featherweight, and the dude is 5'6". So, he had no chance to beat David Onama.
Right.
But, I generally like Trey Ogden's gym. I think Armfield in a fight where he may not have to wrestle, I think it's a significant power advantage. And, Ramon Taveras, I like Ramon Taveras as, a boxing prospect in this division, but he's also a little bit a poor man's version of Adrian Yanez, where it's that's the only thing that he's going to do. I think that comment of Ramon Tavares is better than we think. I think he's the better striker than Armfield, than Sidey, than he's a great boxer, but Armfield can mix it up a little bit. I think he's a well-rounded guy. I generally trust his gym. I think at plus 126 or so, he's not a bad bat whatsoever.
Yeah, and look, and City's never been finished. 0 losses by KO, 0 by sub.
Yeah.
That could be an Armfield decision play here if we consider it. It's a little ballsy on the dog here.
Yeah.
But it's not up on FanDuel yet, so maybe we don't make that the play. But I'm seeing over 3-1 on that decision for Armfield, which I think is a really good straight bet at that minimum.
Yeah, so when you look at Armfield, just 0.4 submission attempts per 15, not really a submission tendency. He knocked out Toshiomi Kazama in the first round, but Kazama's striking defense is just borderline horrific. So,
yeah,
I don't see Armfield as a super powerful guy either. This fight's got to be crazy likely to go over 2.5 rounds, I'm sure. Do we have props on this guy?
No, not on FanDuel.
Oh, but if we pull up
the
Shady's
fight to go the distance is only minus 145.
So almost 60%. That's kind of interesting in itself. Who would you feel like has more finishing danger though? I feel like it'd be Armfield of the two of them. I feel like Armfield's got more power.
Yeah. No, I agree, but again, I think that's why you're fighting guys that never been put away.
Yeah.
I think that's why if we can get plus 350 on Armfield by decision on FanDuel, I think that's going to hit my card for sure.
And Sidey was torn up. His face was bloodied. It was if he was going to go out, maybe his last fight would have been the spot. And I just can't I can't imagine that things get significantly worse for him here against Armfield, because the attrition there was pretty terrible in that fight, and he still made it to the end. So
yeah, and Sidey's 2-2 when it hits the scorecards.
And these decisions, bro, they keep smacking. We got a knockout with Neal in the injury. We got the sub with Hamzat. Ilya Topuria got a KO last week, but other than that, there's a lot of decisions again in this new glove era, right?
Yeah.
I
think this will hit my full card. I think we'll maybe stay away from it on the cycle. We'll see.
Yeah. We shall see. Maybe that's an okay spot for the decision. Yeah. But can we put up a comment, by the way? Will being in Canada have any decision basis if it goes to decisions? It didn't in January. We saw that where Brad Katono lost to Armfield. We saw several Canadian fighters drop. Now, Marc-André Barrio got a decision over Chris Curtis on that card, but Canada won one men's fight on that card when it was in January. I think that one of the things that I love about my model is that it gets rid of some of the white noise. Where the card takes place to me is a little bit of betting white noise, where we see time and time again, we think, oh, it's a prop-up spot for X, Y, and Z in Singapore, in Canada, in Brazil, and they just end up losing. I don't think UFC thinks that way. I think they let fighters fight where they want to fight, but at the end of the day, they're giving them a matchup where they learn about both guys.
Right. 100%.
And some of that white noise I might have to talk to Maddie about some of that white noise in this fight up here, because I know this is going to be our biggest disagreement point. I made my biggest play of the week on the other side of Maddie on this fight, so it'll be good at least to get both perspectives. We'll take a layoff from the long shot here, but Rodrigo Nascimento taking on Alexander Romanov at heavyweight. This is one of the most polarizing fights in the gambling world this week, Maddie, where it feels like everybody's got an opinion. Nobody can seem to agree. These guys on the fringe of the heavyweight rankings, where they've had some high highs, but also some really low lows in this heavyweight division. Man, for sure. I think we can justify just about any angle in this fight, but what is yours?
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough fight because you don't ever know what Alexander Romanov you're going to get.
Sure.
That's the problem. I think if this is Romanov from, I don't know, 22, 21.
Yeah.
Where he's finishing guys by TKO, key lock, but I just don't believe. I mean, so Nascimento is my guy first and foremost, right? He's a South Florida guy. I actually talked to him yesterday. He said he's putting away Romanov in the first round, right? He said he's putting him away in the first round. He said this dude Romanov is 280 pounds right now, so that weight of 266 is this. He said this dude's at least 280 right now, right? And if you look at Nascimento, he's not an easy guy to put away on the ground. So even if Romanov does take him down, the dude is good BJJ.
Yes.
And obviously if a 280 pounder's on top of you raining ground and pound, he could get him out of there. But if you really look at this fight at a high level, Nascimento, if he can stuff the takedowns, he's got a 5-inch reach advantage on the feet. Romanov is known for gassing.
Yep.
He's known for quitting as well, you
Yep.
know, if Nascimento puts it on him. So I don't know. I understand the viewpoint on Romanov here. Maybe I'm biased on this in this spot. But I think Nascimento is gonna TKO him. I really do. And it might not be the first round like he said. It might come later when Romanov gasses, but I just think I can see Romanov quitting faster than Nascimento, you know. Like I think
Sure.
in the worst of both worlds, it's Romanov on top of Nascimento and Nascimento, you know, doing what he needs to survive. Whereas
Yeah.
if things go bad for Romanov, dude's gonna curl up into a ball and lose by TKO. So I think that's a big part of this fight here. I also think Nascimento fighting Derek Lewis is great experience for him in his last fight. And he looked decent. You know, he got finished in the third round. But there was parts of that fight where I thought he could have maybe got Derek Lewis out of there. I bet him by sub in that fight, and obviously it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But Romanov is a huge dude for sure. You gotta think Nascimento's been just training the takedown defense. You know, I think that's all he has to do in this fight. But
Sure.
we'll see what happens. So what's your take? I know you're on the Romanov side.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight where I was definitely most surprised by this model result. I've got Romanov minus 180 here, which is like, here's what's so confusing about Romanov is that when he has shown up fat and out of shape and he's quit, it came against Alexander Volkov and it came against Giles and Almeida. So I'm like, what part of Romanov is like, maybe I can't win this fight, or like it's going to be hard for me to win this fight, so I'm just going to show up out of shape and I don't really care, versus I need this fight to stay on the roster and he comes in a little more motivated. Now, that said, you have to think Nascimento is going to be the better guy in shape here. So if this gets extended, like deeper into the fight, I will be nervous holding a Romanov ticket because I just can't trust his conditioning the same way I can a Nascimento. But at the end of the day, I do think Romanov actually has upside standing in this fight. He landed 77 distance strikes against Blagoy Ivanov. He had a hard time getting Ivanov down. And that was a very surprising result for me, where I was on Ivanov as a small dog, but Romanov really showed off the hands. I think he's a very talented guy. The question is, you know, the conditioning, the willpower, everything involved with that. But I think even if you go back to a Marcus Rogerio de Lima fight in his second fight in UFC, Romanov's fought really high-level competition at heavyweight compared to every time Nascimento kind of floats into that high level of competition, it doesn't go well. You know, the Derek Lewis fight, I think it was going okay until it wasn't. I'm blanking. He had a very uneventful decision with Ilir Latifi, I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember some of his fights off the top of his head. Oh, he had the Chris Dawkins fight. Dawkins put him away really quickly back before Chris showed some chin issues. You know, it's like, I think passing was probably the smartest thing I could have do, but I got to trust my model, which gave me Romanov and Romanov points, which you and I were talking about last night. I love the points angle because I think Nascimento is a very hard guy to put away. It took Derek Lewis 3 rounds. Like, I think he's got a good chin, great BJJ for the division. I think he's a hard guy to put away, but Romanov on top, I think he banks a couple rounds here.
Yeah. There's any outcome could happen in this fight. Either guy could win by knockout. Either guy could win by sub. Either guy could win by decision. Yeah, it's a really hard fight, truthfully. So I think we keep this out of the parlay.
Yeah, I don't think it's a cycle parlay fight for sure. So maybe this next one depends on the numbers we get. We'll see if we start to get numbers that populate on FanDuel here. Featherweight bout between Youssef Zalal taking on Jack Shore and Maddie. Zalal was in another one of your long shots that smacked earlier this year. In his last card, you had him and Toshiomi Kazama by sub in the same parlay. What was that? I think you won like 20 grand off that parlay, if I remember correctly. I might be able to pull it up, but I texted you that morning, if you recall.
I'm blanking on this one now. Hold on.
Maddie's won so much recently, he doesn't even remember some of his best games.
Wait. Oh, yes, you're right.
Yeah. So Zalal's won you a little money recently. I think he's definitely getting love because he also put away Billy Quarantillo in the second round. And then Jack Shore on a couple fight skid here. So it's like, okay, these guys may be moving in different directions. That's why Youssef is minus 290 here. What do you think about this fight? Because I was able to model it and was not surprised by this here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Zalal all day here. I think Jack Shore is slightly overrated. I mean, Brito put him away easily.
Yeah.
Ricky Simone. I'm not the biggest Ricky Simone guy in the world.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
he was able to put him away in round 2. When he jumps up competition, he can't win.
Yeah.
When he fights lower level guys in the UFC, he wins and he wins easily. But yeah, both times he's jumped up in competition, he's lost. And I would put Zalal right in between that Ricky Simone and Drew Anderson Brito level, where he's not quite Brito, but he's better than Simone in my opinion. So I think Zalal can win this fight here.
Yeah, Zalal is a guy that you're going to get cardio, you're going to get effort, you're going to get intent.
Durability.
Durability. The fact that he out Billy Quarantillo and Billy Quarantillo is very impressive.
And
Like,
went the distance with Ilia Topuria.
Right. And we thought maybe this guy wasn't very good, and they ended up actually cutting him from UFC when he goes to a draw on short notice with Damon Blackshear. But hey, Damon Blackshear's not bad either. It's like a lot of his level of competition in UFC has been very, very difficult. But I think the biggest thing with Jack Shore, you're talking about level of competition. I'm talking about weight. I mean, the dude used to fight at 135. Now he's been up here at 145. He got the sub on Makwani Amirkhani, but like, I think he's just a little small for this division. He's not as powerful. He doesn't really have as much finishing danger. And that's where I am frustrated a little bit with my model result here, because like it's a close fight. Zalal usually fights in the margins. I've only got Youssef about minus 130 here. Decision most likely outcome. I would hate to Shore behind and then he wins like a tight decision. I'm like, oh duh, why didn't I back Jack Shore? Because he squeaked out a decision as maybe the stronger pure striker in this fight. But the idea to me that he can dictate where this fight's going to take place and keep Youssef at distance, I'm just skeptical. I really am, especially at featherweight. So I agree with you. I think it's Zalal by points here.
By points?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at a little different angle here.
You like the sub?
Yeah.
Well, the sub tendency's there. 1.4 attempts per 15 minutes. That's really good volume. And he's come back to the UFC and used it early and often.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if this guy's on FanDuel.
How about 4 submission attempts in his last 3 fights for Zalal?
Bro, I think this is the one. It's not on FanDuel though.
What's Shady Sportsbook got for us?
Yeah, let's take a look. I really wish FanDuel had all these dudes by Wednesdays.
Yeah, that makes 2 of us.
Let's take a look here. Oh my God, you're not gonna believe the fucking number, dude.
What is it?
8-1.
Now that's concerning.
That's a great number.
It is, but he's coming off 2 sub wins in a row, and it's 8-1.
But I mean, don't you have the concerns on the size too? That even benefits Zalal even more on the submission ability.
Yeah, but Jack hasn't been a guy that's been super easy to submit. I mean, I think Simone got him with an arm triangle, if I remember correctly. But like,
yeah, it was an arm triangle.
That was okay. I guess he did surrender a submission attempt to Hunter Azure, so the tendencies there. What's decision in that? Because I actually don't have it here in a book sourced in Colorado.
Zalal by points is even money, bro. Fuck that. Yeah, Jack's been subbed once. For people that are asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's not on FanDuel, so maybe it's meant to be that we don't put it in. But I may consider 2-3 sub here on my full card for Zalal.
Yeah. I definitely think 2-3 would be the angle, Matty, because Shore's had some cardio issues. It's just like, I think the bet that's staring me in the face in this fight is if I can get Jack Shore to win a round plus 3.5, but I don't. Then I'd be a little afraid of the sub danger on that side. So this is one of those fights I had circled I wanted to ask you about, and I still don't think, as I'm talking it through, I have an angle that I particularly love.
Yeah, 100%.
We're giving out free 100K. We're certainly going to try. We'll try at the end of the show. We'll try to build something that smacks us.
Yeah.
So
we have to. Going back to back on a cycle parlay would be iconic, bro. This has to be the first one right here. I can feel it.
Yeah. Alrighty. So we'll try to find one here. And if
damn it, it's not on FanDuel either, bro. Hold on. I gotta see what the first fight is that's on FanDuel. What's the next fight?
Maybe main card Stoltzfus.
Lipsky's the next one's on FanDuel.
Okay, so I mean that's not bad. We got Mike
Zahabi, Munhoz. Munhoz is on it. All right, so this is the last fight I think that isn't on FanDuel. I believe.
Okay. Well, we can at least from a betting perspective, it's nearly a pick 'em, so we can at least go through it and see maybe which one of these guys we lean toward. Charles Jourdain dropping down to 135 in his home country here. We've seen him at featherweight, and now Victor Henry and he are going to dash down to 135 together. Henry fought on short notice at 145 in his last fight, so these guys both maybe tweeners a little bit. They're very similarly sized, and they're both strikers. So if I was to do an Austin's Fight of the Night for my own podcast, this would probably be my choice. I think it's going to be a good fight to watch between a couple of technicians. Maddie, Jourdain, slight favorite here, minus 128. You buying the home country guy here, or maybe think that El Mangosa can pull the upset?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good move for Jourdain to go down and weight. I mean, when you saw him fight Gene Silva, it was a complete joke. You know, I mean, that was probably the freest money of the year, truthfully.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, he's fighting monsters. Gene Silva, even Sean Woodson's a huge guy. You know, so he's losing the huge guys, but then, you know, he fights Ricardo Ramos, guillotines him, goes the distance to Nathaniel Wood, goes the distance to Shane Burgos. I think this is a much more, you know, realistic matchup for him. I think you almost have to default to the hometown guy by decision against the guy that's never been put away here if you can get a good number on it. So I would go Jourdain by decision in this spot.
Okay, so I'm kind of leaning Jourdain decision too, which is a little unnerving for me, Maddie, because I've long had a hypothesis that I don't think Charles Jourdain is very good, but stylistically, I think this is a good fight for him to avoid some of what has given him issues. Victor Henry, 0 UFC takedown attempts, so we know it's going to be on the feet. Charles is a little bit longer guy. We don't really know how he's going to respond to this weight cut, but historically, what you got from Jourdain was high volume, accurate striking. Like, he put it on Shane Burgos. He turned Shane Burgos into a wrestler.
Didn't you think, wasn't that a really close fight that he might have won?
Yeah, many people thought he won because it was the control versus striking, and striking was definitely in the favor of Jourdain. I thought Jourdain won the fight. So it like you're saying, I think both of these guys have fought decent competition, but Jourdain, John Silva, you know, he's not had a lot of UFC success lately that hasn't revolved around a couple of mean guillotine chokes. Like, he had the guillotine of Ramos, he had the guillotine of Lando Venata, and then a lot of tight, not great decisions, but most of them to guys that I really like in general.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I don't think this price is bad. I actually see a minus 115 sitting out here on a book somewhere if you want to look for it. So I think you can still get a decent amount on Jourdain if you like him. And I actually might play minus 115 when we get off here. I just wanted to confirm that from you. I've got Jourdain a slight favorite here, but I didn't know if you had a lean toward Henry. It should be a pretty close fight that goes.
It's a very close fight. It's a very close fight. What's it to even go the distance? It's got to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Let's see. Over 2.5 minus 300.
That makes sense. Yeah. I can't see either of these guys knocking the other out, and I don't see it hitting the ground. So that makes total sense to me.
Yeah, 100%. Give me 30 seconds where I'm going to let you do this intro real quick.
Okay. I'm happy to do this intro because, Maddie, this is my favorite underdog of the week, and he's going to have no idea when he gets back. But I think Maddie's a little under the weather. He's been struggling over there. Something going around in the South Florida area. But we got the next fight up here. Women's flyweight, Jasmine Jasudavicius taking on Ariane De Silva. We actually still have her maiden name, Ariane Lipski, up there. That's kind of how I know her and how we've come to know her in UFC. Couple of ladies headed in the right direction. Lipski coming off a loss that didn't necessarily define. It wasn't a bad loss. She goes the distance. She was the first person to extend Karine Silva all 15 minutes. Whereas Jazz on the other side coming off a win in Denver against Fatima Klein, a very highly regarded prospect. So Jazz typically has gotten it done in Canada. She's had a way more successful UFC career than any of us anticipated. So she's minus 215 here, Maddie. I was saying this is one of my favorite plays of the week, so I'm curious where you lean on this particular fight.
You said Jazz is one of your favorite plays of the week?
No. So my favorite play of the week is in this fight. I actually really like Lipski here.
Yeah. By decision?
I like Lipski by points. Yeah, I think I would go by points because I just can't see her finishing. I'd imagine the distance is pretty hefty, but I think Lipski's takedown defense has gotten a lot better. 22 out of 27 in her last 27 attempts faced. That's a huge improvement since that camp with Nunes. I've got Lipski plus 115 here. I think she wins the distance differential, and it looks a little bit like, you remember when Tracy Cortez fought Jazz and she was kind of boxing her up? I think that's a little bit how this fight looks, where Jazz is a little outgunned at distance and can't reliably get the fight to the ground to do and inflict damage.
Yeah. The only win, like the win over Miranda Maverick, I remember that fight. She looked really good there.
Yep.
And she loses to Cortez. And she puts away Priscilla, who's like a zombie with the anaconda choke.
Priscilla's such a can, though. She's terrible.
Yeah. She did get a distance with Natalia Silva, but she's really technical. She just doesn't look for finishes.
Yeah.
I mean, she did get tripled in her significant strikes in that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Silva can land more volume here.
Yeah.
On the feet and win a decision. Maybe this is one we look at taking a dog by decision in the cycle potentially.
I really like that. I've got very little. I've just got Lipski by finish 14% of the time. Let me get an.
I like Jasmine's durability. I do like her durability.
Yes.
I can't see her getting put away.
Yeah, I've got Lipski decision plus 205. There's no way I'm not going to show value on that with whatever prop we get here.
Dude, plus 310 on FanDuel for Lipski by points?
Love it.
Oh my god, dude. We're not going to get screwed in Canada, right?
You know, the thing is that I actually trust Canada's judging institution to not be ridiculous about it. Like, I almost feel like some of the Canadian MMA fans are the ones that lead the charge on the damage control thing, right? Like, this might be close though, and it's like, do we want to throw a potential split decision into the cycle? I don't see like a clear decision this week like we had with Nardiev last. Like, the thing we loved about Nardiev is I thought he could win the fight wherever it went. I'm looking through here, and I don't know if I've got like a convincing. I believe this is going to be a decision. Well, maybe. I actually kind of lean sub in a fight on the main card over decision. So yeah, I think this is probably my favorite points prop besides Romanov. Which, if you're not going to be with me, I totally get it, because Romanov's a little bit of a slob. He's kind of hard to predict. I feel ever since Lipski did that camp with Nunes, she's been a completely different fighter. She goes the distance with Karine Silva. She subbed Casey O'Neill in the second round, and I love Casey O'Neill. I think Casey's activities
and Jasmine's grappling's really good, so she's not getting. I mean, if anything, Jasmine's gonna be taking Lipski down in this fight.
Yeah. It a great comment in chat that we got 12-6 elbows this week, as well as you can't just put your hand down for the grounding rules. So like, in general, there could be a little more violence this week than we've become accustomed to, but like, I don't know how much it extends to this fight in particular.
Right.
So you like Lipski by points here?
I'm leaning that way. I'm a little trigger shy on it though.
Yeah, but it's a good number. It's just, you know,
it is a good number. It is a good number. Yeah, because Jasmine by points is plus 105, plus 110 range.
Yeah. If we're gonna get up over that 50-1 threshold, we're gonna have to throw like a plus 300 something in there. So
this is right around our decision like last week.
Yeah.
All right, we'll decide at the end, but this one's on our radar for sure.
Yeah. I'm just, if you lean Lipski there, I really like that. So why don't we talk about this next fight here, which is actually flipped. We had a different betting favorite in this fight on Sunday. Yeah. It is now Aiemann Zahabi. It was Pedro Munhoz. When we're talking about close fights that project to go the distance, I think that's written all over this fight. So the question is, what are we going to do with it? I already bet it, but I'm curious, Maddie, what are you going to do?
Tell me what you bet.
I love Zahabi here. I got him at minus 115. I'm okay with minus 120. To me, he's the longer guy and really showed off his skills in that Basharat fight against Javid Basharat. Those Basharat bros have looked absolutely unstoppable against everyone else. But Zahabi, when you look at him, 100th percentile, the best striking defense in bantamweight, minimum 5 fights. Also a 79% takedown defense. Pedro Munhoz lives in these close split decisions that he usually loses because he's usually a little bit shorter and able to land a little bit less on the other guy. Zahabi's volume isn't great, but I do think he can match that sort of intensity from Munhoz. And really, I think I'm going to guess he landed a career high in significant strikes against Basharat because I felt like his volume was really good. I was very impressed.
It was a career high in the UFC.
And like, you know, Munhoz is pushing 40. Definitely a good competition on his side. Like, he just fought Chito Vera last year. Kyler Phillips, you know, maybe that doesn't age as well given
exactly.
Phillips.
No, it's a good point.
Yeah, but
I mean, look, he's all the good fighters he's fighting, he's losing by decision.
Yeah,
Aljamain, Aldo, Dominic Cruz, Sean O'Malley could have been that way. Who knows? Cheeto loses a lot of decisions. So if you lose a decision to Cheeto, this is another one we could look at for the decision lay. I was initially leaning Pedro, but I think you've kind of sold me here on
and
Zahabi
I've
by
got
decision.
something.
I just love taking these. I love taking these guys by decision against like super durable guys. I mean, if he puts Pedro Munhoz away, then we deserve to lose our cycle parlay.
Yeah, I unnervingly, Maddie, my model's telling me knockout, which is very scary. I've got knockout at plus 370. What's Zahabi KO in this fight? It's probably like 7 or 8 to 1, right? Because it's just
gotta be.
Nobody has put down Munhoz blockhead.
Yeah, it is
plus 1,000, dude. I've got it at plus 370, dude, because he's got a great knockdown rate. Munhoz, my model ages fighters, and as they get older, there's more attrition. Like we just saw an injury to a 40-year-old guy last week. So like that's why it does it. But man, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Cheeto Vera has good power in his hands. He went the distance with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Zahabi by points is only plus 120 on FanDuel.
And
this is a very tough cycle parlay for this one.
Yeah, prefers money line. I've got Zahabi points plus 175, so I'm throwing value on the KO, dude. It's like I'm gonna play it on my cards, so I'd hate for it to be opposite in the cycle, but like I get the points angle here for sure. It's overwhelmingly if this fight is expected to go the distance in the model, but that's because I have very little chance that I think Munhoz can finish.
I mean, we also have the co-main and the main that we could look at a decision too.
Buddy, I love.
All right, good. We might need to skip. We were gonna make some. Honestly, we're gonna make some critical passes here on some of these because the Lipsky one scares me a little. Zahabi decision, the value is not there, so maybe we skip these. And again, we can't make this whole show just about the cycle parlay.
Yeah,
but that's what's right now. We could. Yeah, this is a tough fight. You can't count Pedro Munhoz out. However, he does lose decisions a lot. I lean Zahabi decision here, but I'm gonna skip it probably based off of value.
I've got a feeling, Maddie, that you and I might find a leg that we lock into the cycle parlay in our next fight. If we move forward, I think we're gonna find something here that I can talk you into in this next fight here between Mike Malott and Trevin Giles, prelim at welterweight. Like this is the thing about the cycle parlays. We had a few big favorites in it last week. Like all of them were at least minus 180.
Yeah.
We've had close fights up to this point, but this one a little bit lengthier. Malott minus now 280 live on FanDuel, so he's even taking a little bit of money today. Yeah. Maddie, I'm sorry that I talked to you off Neil Magny and Malott's last fight. You were looking at 93 KO.
I'm sorry, bro. This fight right here, Mike Malott has 2 guillotines in the UFC. Trevin Giles has lost by guillotine 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. He's lost 3 times by guillotine in the UFC. Mike Malott has 2 guillotines on his resume in the UFC.
Yeah.
Very interesting. You got to think Mike Malott's going to bounce back here after, his last performance, which he says he wins that fight 9 times out of 10. I think we agree with that. He gassed out late against Neil Magny. His guy's 3 of his 4 wins are by submission. Is this the one? Is this the one that we look at here? I also don't hate the KO prop, but depending on the number either.
Okay, so this is a great argument because my model's very close knockout sub. The props on FanDuel are very close. KO is plus 250. Sub is plus 220. Now, I will say, Maddie, I kind of want to pencil this in. Safe parlay. I love Malott inside the distance, minus 140. Then you don't have to worry about it. Like for a safe parlay. I love that. So we'll bookmark that. And the thing about Giles, like, I don't want to root. This is a guy that was dominating Carlos Prates in the first round. But the thing is, Trevin Giles is always going to Trevin Giles. He's very chinny. You said he's been guillotined twice. Like, he makes these awful mistakes and it never stops. Like, I keep waiting for Trevin Giles to say, oh, he's a bit unlucky. He may not be able to do this. I feel like he actually has been a little bit lucky. He got the nod over Roman Dolidze in a fight that I arguably thought he lost. Like, I don't want to just write him off when Malott's only minus 280, but I think that's because his gas tank sucked. I don't know. I don't think Trevin Giles can last to the 3rd round, so I don't know how much the gas tank matters here.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good comment. Because Mike Malott and Giles did have a grappling match in 2022, and Giles lost by decision, or Malott won by decision.
Yeah. So what I was gonna say, so he didn't submit him, is what you're telling me.
He did not in a grappling match.
I like,
but when you can utilize your striking to get the submission, though, it's different, obviously.
Yeah, I've got knockout more likely than submission. The market is opposite. This is exactly where we were with Hamzat last week, where I thought sub was more likely than KO, and it was opposite. I was going to try to sell you Malott KO for the cycle parlay here. I'm love it.
Opposed to it. Here, let me take a look here. And he is coming off of a big TKO shot against Carlos Prates.
Yeah.
Which also helps the cause here. There's also the 12-6 rule, too, doesn't hurt us here in this spot.
Absolutely. And probably another case for KO over
The one thing that scares me the most is just the guillotine. That's it.
Yeah.
The guillotine, because I do think if he gets a takedown here, he can get a ground and pound or find something on the feet even. It is tough. It is tough.
Let me see if I can ease your. So he attempted 2 takedowns in his last fight. So Giles hasn't secured a takedown in a fight since September 2022. He has only attempted 4 in his last 3 fights.
Yeah.
I don't think he grapples a lot at welterweight. And by the way, if he does, he's got a suspect gas tank. And
yeah.
I would not grapple Mike Malott. I would not try to take him down. I would try to stand with him.
No, he's definitely going to stand with him. Yeah. And you think Mike Malott can win on the feet by knockout, or you think?
Absolutely, yeah. He put out Mickey Gall in a few seconds. It felt like. What was it? So we saw how tough Mickey Gall was against Basile Hafez, right? Hafez landed all those punches. He couldn't get him out of there. Malott finished him in under 4 minutes.
Yeah,
I think Mike is really good. It's just the gas tank. He dominated Neil Magny for the first 12 minutes of that fight, and then it's like a light switch went off. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
The gas tank just ran out. I think Malott's really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're definitely going to be playing him inside the distance here, it sounds like.
Yeah. So why don't we marinate on it? Maybe we find a KO prop we love more, but that was
He also has a good knee, too. He has 2 finishes by knee back in this is a long time ago, 2013, 2014. Like I said, the only thing that scares me is the guillotine choke. That's it.
Yeah.
But that's the risk we play. So we'll come back to it at the end of the show.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to be playing Mike Malott inside the distance here, it sounds like.
One last thing, that Bonfim guillotine choke for Giles, he was reversed from a back take.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like Giles went to shoot. It was a reversal, like a mounted guillotine.
Right.
So if it just helps you ease your mind about Giles shooting, I get it. So why don't we move up onto the main card, Maddie? And I usually highlight my winners. I say, hey, Maddie, I'm leaning here, I'm leaning there. This next fight, I really do want to hear your opinion on, because I don't really have a winner highlighted. In fact, the next one after this too. So, Maddie, you're going to be dictating a lot of my action. No pressure in this fight here. Marc-André Barriault taking on Dustin Stoltzfus. I've won money off both these guys. I've lost money off of both of these guys. I don't think they're super consistent, but Barriault is the Canadian here. Minus 205. We're going to rebound off the AL loss to Joe Piper. So, Maddie, is this a spot where we can accept some Canada chalk? Because I've been kind of sketchy about it so far.
I think it is. I think his last 2 fights are just guys. Chris Curtis is obviously a step above Dustin, and I think Joe Piper is a step above him. And if you look at the guys that Marc-André's losing to, I mean, it's Fluffy Hernandez, it's Joe Piper, it's guys that have either serious power or serious, submission or gas tanks. The Chris Curtis loss was a split decision. As long as Marc-André survives the first 5 minutes here, I don't think he's going to have any problem winning rounds 2 and 3 in this fight. So I think that this could even be, we could even maybe look at this as, a decision prop here. I think we're going to be sweating late, though, is the problem. Let's take a look at Dustin. So
sweating late is afraid that he's not going to finish him.
We could be sweating as if Marc-André, just puts a pace on him late and gets him out of there.
I thought you meant that Stoltzfus was going to outpace Barrio. I'm like, I don't think I'm sweating that.
No. Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, because Dustin did get put away in round 3 by Vieira and GM3. So that's the scary part is late when he fades. But those are high-level submission guys that were able to put him away late.
Yes.
I think Marc-André is just going to be, throwing volume at him. And then the question is, does Dustin give up a TKO late or does he, lose a decision? I don't think he's really been put away late by knockout. Never has happened. I mean, Marc-André's not really a submission guy, right? He's more of a...
He got that one guillotine choke on Jourdain Wright, but Jourdain Wright's terrible, so...
Yeah. And he had some success against Fluffy.
Yeah.
Early. And then Fluffy, yeah, it's a tough one, bro. I mean, even Jun Park, he went the distance with.
It was a close fight.
Really, yeah. I think Marc-André decision here, bro. I'm kind of leaning towards. Let's see what the number is, though.
Yeah, I just have a little bit of a concern, like just the tiniest bit of a concern that Barrio can stay on his feet here. We saw him really melt against Vieira or against Fluffy Hernandez. Like in general, I feel okay about his takedown defense. I prefer to bet him in fights where I don't have to worry about it, but I mean, he's been taken down just once since that Fluffy Hernandez fight. So maybe it's a little better than I give it credit for. And like Stoltzfus was willing to trade on the feet with Bruno Ferreira in his last fight. So like, I don't think Barrio's power was going to be a little, I was leaning Barrio decision here as well. Plus 195 for a minus 205 favorite. Think we get a little bit of value there just because Stoltzfus has been finished in the first round so often. But Barrio's not really a one punch and go finish you in the first round type of guy. Like he is mounting. We've seen some calls out in chat here, round 3 decision. That's probably what I'm going to officially play on my card just in case. But if you and I looked at each other and said, maybe we go Mark for the decision lay in the cycle parlay, I'd be good with it. I put that comment in chat. If you really loved it, I would be fine taking that.
Yeah.
I think he's the side here. Stoltzfus is so irresponsible. I think he's very hittable, and I don't think his wrestling is super consistent. So I like Barry in this fight.
It's plus 195 if we want to go with that, which is not a terrible number.
For a minus 205 favorite without much finishing danger.
Yeah, that's the
like his finishing danger is melting dudes.
Right.
I don't feel bad about Stoltzfus's cardio. I'm really more worried about his chin.
Yeah. Who's knocked him out? Ferreira's just way bigger power. Magomedov was a front kick to punches. Those guys are just better, I think, striker. I mean, it is crazy Marc-André has 10 KOs.
Yeah. How many in UFC, though?
Yeah, 1 against Julian Marquez.
So, and then Abu Azaitar is a welterweight. He's a 170er. So,
yeah, he's not putting. And then his first 2 fights weren't even in the UFC. He only has 2 KOs in the UFC. The Marquez one, which was a standing TKO. He didn't even put him out. And then we saw it didn't even age great because Marquez got put away by Zach Reese in round 1.
Yeah,
I'm down for this. I think Marc-André Barrio by decision. We know we're going to get his gas tank. We know we're going to get some volume out of him.
Yep.
He's got to survive round 1 and then put a pace on him and then not finish him. So we got to sweat the round 1, then we got to sweat the round 3 probably on the other side.
Dude.
So
let's do it.
That's how it goes, though.
So my model's at plus 190 for decision. It's plus 195. I think we can take that spin value.
I'm in on that. All right. We finally got our decision lay. And the nice thing is it's the first leg, which last week our first leg was a decision. I like that the best. I like to save the KO subs for later.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe I can get you back to Malott KO, but like I think maybe we can keep.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We might have a KO first. Yeah,
we might have a KO. I'm good. I'm good throwing Lipsky away. You need a break? Oh,
I need 40 seconds. But I'm definitely out on Lipsky when we have. I like that one better than the Lipsky decision.
I'm with you.
The Lipsky decision pays better, but we get the Canadian in Canada with the better gas tank, the better volume. I think the number's a little smaller, but we take that as a decision one. I'll be right back. Give him the breakdown on this one, bro.
Okay. I really wish I wasn't left to give it this breakdown because I honestly have no idea what to expect in this fight. Kyle Machado moving down from heavyweight all the way down to 205, and he is going to take on Brenson Romero here. It's just a weird fight. And I'm gonna double check. Yeah, it is at 205. I can't even fathom that the guy that we just saw fight Dontel Mays is going to be at 205 pounds. So, it's almost hard to wrap my brain around, but we're going to try it here against Romero. And I think Romero hanging onto the UFC roster by a thread, right? We saw him in his last fight get wrestled by a kickboxer, Magomed Gaziasulov. We saw the quick knockout by Zhang Mingyang, which by the way, I can't wait to see that guy fight again here. Romero pulled a big upset on the Contender Series. It's starting to look a little bit like that upset was for that reason, but okay, now we're giving him a discouraged heavyweight that hasn't won in UFC yet and is now all of a sudden minus 180. So I'm very curious to hear what Maddie's take on this fight is going to be, because I just genuinely don't know what to do. This is my what the fuck fight of the week. I really have no idea what to do with this. Maddie, do you have a specific angle you love here? Because holy fuck, this fight. Why is it on the main card is my question.
Oh, dude, I was wondering that earlier. I'm like, I guess that just shows how low level of a card it is here. This is a strange fight, dude. A strange fight. Oh my god. So, Ribera's the guy that pulled off that massive upset on Contender Series, right?
Yes, over Bruno Lopez. That's right.
Yeah, that was fucking bonkers, bro. And then since then, Lopez won 2 straight fights by finish, LFA, and then Contender Series again.
Yep.
So that win has aged well overall. Kyle Machado, on the other hand, 8-3-1 record, loses to Mick Parkin and Dontel Mays by decision.
I like Parkin. Mays is a little bit less defensive.
Agreed on that. This is a weird fucking fight.
But it's so Kaio's dropping down to 205 here, bro. He weighed in 251 in his last fight. That's an insane cut, no?
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
Do we have any Instagram page? Is he shredded now? Because that's a huge cut.
I'm gonna take a look.
I'm trying to take a look. I find it interesting that I've always liked Kaio in a heavyweight sense. We were on his submission against Mays, if you remember, because he had all these regional subs and we just hadn't seen it yet. We didn't really get an opportunity for it. But Kaio's analytics are awesome. Plus 3.34 striking success rate.
Bro, he just posted 3 minutes ago. He's shredded.
I feel like so many people. Let's see. It's glaring pretty bad. We may not be able to see. Maybe can you send that to Telegram?
I'm sending it right now.
We'll see if we can get this up here before we.
Bro, he's shredded, dude. He's completely shredded.
Yeah, I generally feel like Brenson Romero sucks. So that's my general take on this fight. And if Machado's minus 180 or so, Romero's showed up to be pretty durable in his last fight, but I actually feel like Kaio's gonna win the fight. It's just I have a hard time finding angles. Hey, can we ban the fake Maddie Bets in chat?
Oh my god, these little peasants, dude.
I see so many fake Maddie Bets peasants.
Bro, you have no idea. It drives me crazy. And it's all platforms now. It's Facebook, it's TikTok, it's Instagram. It's everywhere, dude. I don't know how to stop it.
Holy guacamole, what happened to Kaio freaking Machado, bro?
Yeah. And Matsumoto just commented on it.
Yeah, I feel like this cut cannot be a bad thing for him because he's in shape. So many of these heavyweights could do this, bro.
You know what's crazy is we need to run to the counter right now because this is going to take major steam, I think.
Yeah.
His money line.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. Look at the difference, bro. What's his path here? Is it KO?
So I think Romero's a bad grappler, and he's kind of chinny. He was knocked out at his debut by Zhang Mingyang, bro. I think sub at God. Do we run back? It's shorter this time. Kaio sub is plus 750 this time, dude.
Oh my god.
And in general, he hasn't shown a lot of knockout power, but that was at heavyweight, which is just an entirely different galaxy, you know.
I think he can knock this dude out at 205.
I think he can too. So what's
plus
inside
210? Plus 210 is the knockout.
Plus 140 inside the distance, bro. For Kaio ITD.
Yeah. Let me see something.
I really liked it.
I mean, this dude Ribeiro has been put away 5 times, bro.
Yeah,
and he hasn't even fought good competition.
Yeah,
he's getting knocked out in round 1. I really think he's getting knocked out in round 1.
Yeah,
he's been knocked out in round 1. How many times? 1, 2. He's been choked out in round 1 once.
Yeah,
he's been put away in round 1 3 times. I'll tell you one thing right now. I'm definitely cooking up a round parlay this week because I told people, I said I'm going for $1 million parlay, and I'm going 3 fighters in 3 fighters by winning method and round to go for the mill. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Kyle Machado round 1 as one leg for sure. There was another round. There was another one I really liked. I have to remember what it was now.
I think it's almost a good argument, dude. Machado round 1 plus 380. It's kind of short.
I swear to God, when we finish the stream, I might go right to the counter.
Yeah,
and drop a bomb on Machado, bro.
It's gonna with that post. I mean, Kyle looks great.
It's gonna go crazy, dude.
His analytics are a guy that I wanted to buy going into this, and I think Ribeiro.
And honestly, he should just swallow the juice and just say he ain't losing. You know?
Yes, because Ribeiro did last to the end of his last fight. Against Gadjiusula. So
if I'm gonna hammer a straight bet, I mean, I'm down to, but I'm.
Well, what I'm saying is, I know you don't care about the safe parlay, but I do, and I like Machado money line. I think for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see right now on Hard Rock.
He's not losing.
Minus 160 right now on Hard Rock.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, you could throw a whale on that. You can throw 4 units on that thing. Like I threw 4 units on Kevin Vallejos minus 160 inside the distance on the Contender Series. Yeah, don't regret it one bit. I was like, I knew Vallejos was going to finish that dude.
Bro, that's crazy how good.
So I don't know. I don't know if we have a great cycle angle here, but I think Kaio and like Kaio early is a good angle. Here.
Money line.
Yeah, money line's great.
I mean, I think Dante Mays would beat up Brenson.
Yeah, especially at heavyweight, especially like
Nick Parkin as well.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do it, bro. All right. Yeah. Well, I think we keep this one out of the. If we had to put it in, I would say KO. But I think we keep it out.
And I think Machado, the Canadian guy, only going to help the case there. I think the Canadian chalk gets better on the main card. I like Marc-André and I like Kyle Machado.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to a not Canadian chalk. We got a Brazilian and a guy from Houston in my state here in Texas. Jonathan Diniz taking on Derek Lewis here. Lewis coming off that 3rd round knockout of your guy, Rodrigo Nascimento. Jonathan Diniz coming off a fight where we saw him go the distance, and it looks like he's really starting to get these fights in. Because what did we see him like last month, 2 months ago in August?
This is what this Spanier was supposed to be.
This is what
real. This is the real, yeah. Like seriously,
yeah.
You know, he beat this guy beat Carl Williams, which is not easy to do.
Right.
That's a guy that's 10-2 record who beat Justin Tafa, beat Bresky, beat. You know, he's not a bad heavyweight. Beat Chase Sherman. Like, you know, he wasn't finishing guys, but he was consistently ragdolling them and winning by decision. And I mean, Diniz, I think just the eye test on his striking is super clean. I mean, the Austin Lane round 2 TKO has aged a little bit better now that guy has now went the distance with the Spain. I mean, he did get finished by Tafa, but he was putting away everyone else prior to that fight. So I think that fight, if I remember correctly, he just got put on his back round 1 and then got up in round 2 and just put him away, right?
He did. Yep.
Yeah. And Derek Lewis, I mean, we have seen Derek Lewis attempt to take that. Well, what fight was that? Was that Tuivasa?
Yeah, Tuivasa. He took Ty down.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe he does that in round 1 here. You never know with Derek Lewis.
Yeah.
But the question is really comes down to Derek Lewis. What version of Derek Lewis are we getting here? I still don't understand how this guy is like. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I know he has the knockout record, and all of these accolades, but like, I just don't get it, man.
I mean, the thing about Derek Lewis is he's just bad, and like we've seen him exposed as an MMA fighter. Like think back to the Sergey Spivak fight, the Cyril Gane fight from a striking perspective. These guys are going to be, as far as striking technique is concerned, they're on a different galaxy. Like Diniz is a kickboxer, Derek Lewis is a big right hand, right, and maybe an uppercut. Like it's just like I think that Lewis is in trouble here. It's a little bit, though, like when he was a short underdog to Marcus Rogerio de Lima. Remember, he comes out with the flying knee, right? Like, I would not bet Denise's money line in this spot, but I'm curious. Like, do you feel like KO Denise is an angle here? Like, do you prefer that angle here?
I do. I also could see a boring fight where Denise wins by decision.
Oh, interesting.
On a 3-rounder against Derek Lewis. I mean, we have seen that before. I mean, Denise could kind of just try to pepper him from the outside and stay away from danger.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Derek Lewis. Let's see here. When did he lose last by knockout? It was the Pavlovich fight.
Yeah, it was Pavlovich. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like, and you know, I forgot he went the distance with Giles, even though that was more of a grappling heavy type of fight. Like
That was crazy.
yeah, it's just other than you throw the flying knee, if you throw the flying knee away, man, he's 2 and.
I mean, you think Denise is better than like a Tuivasa?
Yes, I like it from a technical perspective. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, now? I don't think he's got the best power in the world, which is why I was going to ask you, like, you thinking knockout, or maybe I was
Yeah.
thinking round 2, 3 KO potentially here, rather than round 1 puts him out right away. But
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Lewis is going to be a heavy bag for him. And by the way, kicks to the body I think are live here for Denise. Really
For
good
sure.
jab. And he
The
showed
KO is -110 for Denise. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, we got to
oh
comment.
my
here.
God, Denise by decisions +850, bro.
I think it's for a reason. I think it's because if Denise is having his way in this fight, I don't think Derek Lewis is going to last all 15 minutes. It's not like a grappler like Almeida where he can just stay safe and not get subbed and get back up at the end of the round. Like, he's
Yeah.
going to be taking. And I think back to the Cyril Gane interim title fight, right, where it was in Houston. It was designed for him, and then Cyril Gane absolutely destroyed him and picked him apart. I know Cyril Gane is really good, but Jonathan Denise is no slouch at distance.
Yeah, I mean, every finish is early for Denise, dude.
He's
Round
got
one,
decent
round one,
power.
round one, round one, round one, round one, round 2, round 3, flying knee, back in kickboxing.
I will say this will be the first real substantial test for Denise's chin. If he's got
Yeah.
chin issues, Derek Lewis might find it, and that's
Yeah.
the scary part about betting his money line, right? But like,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. I'm gonna stay away from it in the cycle parlay for sure.
I think I prefer Malott KO, dude. Or if you wanted to talk me into Machado KO,
I'm very open to Malott KO. For this
Yeah.
one, I swear to God, I might sprinkle Denise decision, like outside of the parlay.
yeah.
850 is just crazy. I mean, if you think about the level, the step up in competition, if you think about what Denise wants to do, he doesn't want to sit in the pocket with Derek Lewis. So maybe
Sure.
it's kicks to the body, maybe it's kicking and moving, kickboxing. I just think that he could try to win win like a maybe like a 30-27, or maybe he just gets up and then he coasts a little bit, you know. So I don't know.
You could honestly make at that price you can make a substantial play at Denise KO and then hedge off with a decision if you wanted to.
That's true.
Whatever it is, like if you really want to do it like from a professional sense, like you could use the decision as a hedge. But I just have a hard time seeing Derek make it all 15 minutes when Denise. I don't have his knockdown rate in front of me because he's not model eligible yet.
Yeah.
But I mean he's knocked down. I think he's dropped everybody except Williams that he's fought in UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dropped
sure.
his guy on the Contender Series twice. It's tough because the level of competition's bad, but I think Derek Lewis is really bad too. So especially the 40-year-old version. So Maddie, why don't we move forward here to a fight that has definitely drummed up controversy in the Home of Fight household. We've been talking about this one all week, for or against here. I'm curious where you stand because I haven't heard your take on it. I'm glad because we can do this together. Erin Blanchfield, Rose Namajunas. This kind of feels like a title eliminator of sorts. You would presume Manon Fiorot is next at 125, given that she's beaten both of these ladies, but you never know what Dana's plans are. Blanchfield Namajunas potentially next in line after that. So Rose coming off a win over Tracy Cortez in June, or July, excuse me. And then Blanchfield also coming off a loss to Fiorot, as I mentioned, in her hometown of Atlantic City. So Maddie, Blanchfield -140 here. What do you think about this fight?
I think at 125, I got to go Erin Blanchfield. You know, I just think that her striking's it's not great, but it's kind of underrated in a way where she throws volume. Sure. She uses it to set up her takedowns. I think she has the ability to kind of ragdoll Thug Rose here. I don't know that she'll be able to get her out of there because Thug Rose is good off her back. But I do remember some of the fights, like Thug Rose when she fought, was it Andrade? She got slammed on her head.
She did,
Like,
yeah.
she's not a big girl, dude. And like Blanchfield was able to put Andrade away.
Yep.
You know, so like when Rose thought Manon, like that's a big chick too, but she's just striking with her, you know? It's different when you're fighting a girl that has serious like size and thickness to her and is gonna wrestle. So like I think Erin Blanchfield here can win a decision. I also think maybe the subs live, but probably not. I think Erin Blanchfield just, you know, improve. She's going to show improvement from her last fight. She's going to use the striking, the setup, the takedowns, and she's going to win 3 rounds of 2, maybe 4-1.
So I'll be curious what the submission prop is with Blanchfield. Maddie, I'm so glad you and I, at least as a show, we're on the same page here because I really like Blanchfield in this fight. I already bet her at -125. I don't know if -140 is pushing it, but like I have in my betting guide for FanDuel Research, I think I might just leap to a sub dart here anyway. I think y'all must have forgot about Erin Blanchfield, man. Like they gave her the 2 toughest matchups in the division for her. Tyler Santos, 88% takedown defense. Manon Fiorot, 93%. And everyone's like, oh man, she has bad wrestling. We just got a comment. Blanchfield has bad wrestling. She's facing the best wrestling defense in this division the last 2 fights. Now she's facing Rose Namajunas, 59%. Historically has been on her back in some key moments. She lost a couple of rounds early to Weili Zhang in the first round. And like, we're talking about 115. And you could say she got through that because of...
No, this is a great comment right here.
Yeah.
I'm listening. No, there's a great comment. And Esparza was able to sub Rose in the UFC.
Yes.
If the girl is just bigger and stronger and Rose scrambles off her back and, you know, there's these grappling exchanges, I mean, Erin could grab an arm. You know, she can. She's very dangerous down there. I mean, have we came up with our sub
No,
yet?
dude, and the one I had circled was this. I have submission plus 390. It's plus 450 on FanDuel. This is the one I had circled. I wanted to give you. I really like Blanchfield sub in this one.
Thug Rose only subbed once in MMA.
Yeah, it is interesting. So Jillian Robertson for first round rear naked choke in grappling.
And Jillian's a bigger girl.
Yeah, Jillian's a former 125er.
Jillian is way bigger and stronger. You know, in a way, it's a resemblance of Blanchfield.
Yes, Blanchfield and Robertson would be a crazy fight, like just because of the grappling. But I think Erin's hands are better. You look back at the Andrade fight, distance strikes in that fight, 50 for Blanchfield, 50 for Andrade. She was keeping pace at distance with Jessica, which is not easy to do.
Rose has been subbed in the Ultimate Fighter, but no, she hasn't been subbed in an official UFC fight.
Yeah. Then why is it so short here?
Right. No, exactly. I mean, look, Rose has fought how many of her fights at 115?
Yep.
How many?
So she moved up 3 fights ago, so everything but 3 fights ago.
And when she's moved up, she's fought, I mean, Tracy Cortez, Amanda Ribas, and Manon Fiorot.
Yeah.
I mean, some grappling in there, but a lot of striking. I mean, Cortez isn't a submission threat. She's a control. She's striking in control.
Like, and by the way, so this is where Jive and I disagreed, right? Is that Cortez comes up, it was on short notice, so it was like a week and a half notice for Cortez.
I'm so in on this, dude. I'm in on this.
Okay, cool. She's not in shape. Cortez isn't. She still lands 2 over 5 takedowns. She just can't wrestle for 25 minutes because she's not in the right shape to do it, you know?
I'm so in on this, bro.
I think if you rematch Cortez Namajunas on full notice, we'd see a lot more wrestling from Tracy and a more competitive effort, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm with you. I like Erin Blanchfield money line. As a straight bet. You know, hopefully I can get like -130 or less.
You'd favor decision here. Yeah, I mean, that'd be the most likely outcome in a 3-rounder.
Yeah.
But 100%. I like the number on sub, and plus 450 will fit decently well into our cycle parlay too.
All right, main event.
Yeah, it is time for the main event, and I'm not sure we've got a cycle parlay leg here. It's a little bit like last week's, where it's kind of a tough fight to get a specific outcome because there's so much moving with these 2 fighters at flyweight. Brandon Moreno.
It's a 5-rounder, by the way. The last fight.
It is.
Yeah.
That last fight's a 5-rounder.
Yes, dude. I like it even more.
Huge for Blanchfield, dude.
It's huge for the sub, bro.
Yes, I totally agree. And I would lean like 3-4-5 sub, just like a melting over time because Blanchfield's cardio is excellent.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that because that was originally the main event and it got pushed down to the co-main. That's why it's a 5-rounder.
Okay. It is 5 rounds. Let's go, dude. I love that.
I'm about it, bro. This shit's smacking, dude.
All right,
let's do this, Ming. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, I'm curious who you think's going to win it because Moreno's minus 164 here. Albazi at plus 128 coming off a fight where I think a lot of people didn't think he won against Kai Kara France, right?
I didn't.
It was definitely in robbery sort of territory here. The question is now after a long layoff, some injuries, like can he get that momentum restarted against a guy in Moreno who's now lost two fights to, albeit maybe the two most dangerous guys in the division?
Yeah, it just comes down to where Brandon Moreno's at. It blows my mind he's still 30 years old. I mean, the dude looks young, so he's got a baby face, but like based off of the amount of the amount of fights we've seen him in and the quadrilogies and all these, like you would think he's 35 years old, so he is 30. The question is he going to come back rejuvenated from that break? What was his last fight? Was the Brandon Royval fight. Damn, why? It doesn't even feel like it was that long. It felt like it was
in February, right? It was in February.
Yeah, it's not even a huge break. Yeah, and he looked good and he looked decent in the fight. And Royval, that fight's aged well. He just beat Tatsuro Taira. It's tough. I think Kai Kara France has a better takedown defense than Moreno, right? So I think in a way he kind of matched up better against Albazi, whereas I could see Moreno fighting off his back maybe too much in this fight. If Albazi is going to be just more physically imposing, utilize the takedowns. I think this is one that probably goes the distance and is a split decision or a close fight. I was looking at that Albazi sub just to see, and it's big, bro. It's big.
Really?
It's a big number.
I'll have to run some model numbers. Maddie, I'm so thrilled to hear that you might be leaning Albazi because I think especially at this number, I think it's got to be Albazi or pass. Like, how bad has Brandon Moreno looked in his last couple of fights where, like, some of the signature attributes that you expected from him, they just haven't been there. He's been kind of flat, right?
Plus 900, bro, is the sub for Albazi.
I know I don't have to talk you into a sub prop. Hey, going sub to end the night would be a little bit wild, but
I thought that was going to happen last week. Dude, when I hit the 100K, I went right to the counter, got the cash. I got 80 in cash. And I said, give me 20 on Taporia. I want 10 inside the distance at even money, right?
Yeah.
And then I want 10 by sub and if he would have jumped on his back after the left hook, I would have won like another 60,000. It was like plus
the sub was
470 or something. So I would have got 57 more back on top of the inside the distance bet. It would have been crazy, bro. Yeah. But the left hook was just too lethal.
Yeah. So when I model this fight out, I've got Albazi at plus 110. I've got obviously Moreno then 52.7% likely to win. So there's no way I would ever bet him minus 164 here. Like Moreno's shown some takedown defense issues. He showed that a little bit against Pantoja. I think Albazi's ground game is very legitimate. To me, the best Albazi fight on his resume is getting Alessandro Costa out of there in dominant fashion. Has Costa even lost to anyone else? I think maybe he lost a close decision to Steve Ursig, but I really like Alessandro Costa. Albazi dominated that dude. Like he was nothing. Like I thought he was going to be a kid in UFC because of how he looked. And good comments in chat. Like he definitely part of it is long. We had a heart surgery for Albazi. We had a neck surgery for Albazi. That is concerning, but I at least think at his age, it's more likely we get a decent full recovery here than if he was an older fighter with more attrition.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a tough main event, I think. I think the main event's tougher than the co-main.
Yeah.
I lean dog here. I lean Albazi. I think it's one of those scenarios where it's like, people care too much about the robbery in the last fight that they let it dictate this fight, and I think this is a better matchup for Albazi than the Kai Kara France is. Kai Kara France has some good power in his hands, good takedown defense. Moreno, I think, is a better fighter than Kai Kara France, but I think stylistically, I think Albazi can do more against him. I think Albazi is better takedowns than Pantoja, but Pantoja is probably the better grappler. Mm-hmm. I think it's very close. So I don't know. I'm going to lean Albazi here. I think probably decision. Moreno's a black belt, right? I think Albazi by decision here.
Yeah, I was gonna play Albazi 4-5 decision and plus 190, 1 unit. That's what I was gonna put on my card for this fight.
Yeah.
Just
I'm gonna lean Albazi. I'll probably take a money line bet here since it's not in the parlay.
yeah. I guess you're right, Maddie. It's like, would I rather have plus 130 on the money line or plus 190 and throw away the early finishes? Like it's unlikely, but it is possible. It is a tough one to read. I do think Albazi or pass is our general angle.
Maybe Albazi. It's going to be Albazi versus Tyra.
Wow! Now the grappling in that fight would be crazy.
Get these little peasants out of here, dude.
Yeah, we got pick spamming and all that stuff. Let's see.
Oh my god,
Maddie, I thought you were gonna go submission. So Albazi inside the distance is crazy. It is plus 500, bro. Albazi inside the distance.
Yeah, it's just Moreno's never been put away, right?
Yeah, I mean, like Moreno is plus 240 inside the distance too, and I have a hard time seeing him putting away Albazi. I think it's a 25-minute fight is how it feels to me. Where
I will say Moreno has a granite Mexican chin. If you're gonna put him away, you're gonna choke him out.
Yeah,
and I think so. I'll probably play Albazi decision submission double chance on my card. Try to get like plus 160. Let me see what that is. Double chance
sub decision. You're gonna get a little juice on that. It is
plus 160 on the fucking dot, bro.
Dude, they don't call you Matty Math.
That's impressive. I can't lie. Plus 160.
I really like that. I might take that in lieu of that 4-5 decision because I agree with you. I think if he's getting out of there, I don't think he's KOing. I think it's a sub decision.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I like it.
It's a good angle.
No,
but
I'm not calling my fans peasants. Okay,
it's our spammers.
Let's clear the air here. I'm calling robots peasants, guys that are spamming 5 comments in the live, trying to get people to their Telegram, and it's a bot. So let's be very clear about that. I'm not calling fans peasants. However, I have called fans peasants if they act like a peasant. So. And peasants has nothing to do with your status. To me, it's more about your energy. It's not about being rich or poor. It's about being a negative social media troll. That's a peasant to me. So let's be very clear about that.
It's parlay time, buddy. It's parlay time.
Let's run it. Let's run it.
All right, let me get my L safe parlay out of the way here.
I like this. Here. You like the graphic, bro? The cycle parlay?
Yeah, dude. So we got the cycle from last week.
It's messed up though because the first base should have been the decision. They got to swap first and third there.
I was gonna say that's also third base. But I know you're not a baseball guy, so it's okay.
No, the third base is on the left. I didn't make the graphic. Third base is on the left. Third base is on the left.
We know Maddie didn't make the graphic. Yeah. All right, so let me try to make my safe parlay so we can throw it up here and it can lose a unit for me, and then we'll get to the actual safe parlay, the one that ends up winning.
Yeah.
I actually have the cycle built out. I haven't really thought about the safe parlay, so let's. Like the leg that stood out to me, and I know we may end up double dipping with the other, but I'm fine with it. I love Malott inside the distance minus 140. I want to throw that into the safe parlay.
The safe parlay, okay.
Yeah, Malott inside the distance.
All right, I'm in on that.
What about Kyle money line minus 178 on FanDuel right now?
I'm down to go inside the distance
for Kyle. Let's see what those pay together. Okay, so those two get together are plus 311. That's honestly a pretty good save probably. It's 2 legs.
Yeah, and we could go one more leg on like a money line that's just not losing maybe. Or just leave it like that.
I'm trying to think of so the heaviest money line.
Or we just call it a day on the safe parlay, 2 legs by finish. Let's do it. Let's do that. All right, send that to Mike. Let's put that up there.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get rid of the cycle parlay screen for this one, just so there's no confusion.
Yep. Alrighty, so it's our 2-leg parlay, and I'll put it in our YouTube chat as well. As safe and as easy to remember as it can be this week. So our safe parlay is we've got Mike Malott ITD and we've got Kyle Machado ITD. You slap them together, it's plus 311, so not too bad there.
Yeah.
Alrighty, Maddie. It's cycle time, buddy. Let's start building. So
All right, there's
for
the same
our-
parlay. Mike Malott by finish, Kyle Machado by finish. Over 3-1 on your money. We get two guys that just have to do their job. They're the far superior fighters.
in
Just do
Canada,
your job.
hometown, do your job.
100%. I like that a lot. There it is right there, boys. All right. Leave that up there for a minute or two, Mike. We're going to build out this. I'm going to start right off the bat with the guaranteed ones that we're going with, okay? Which is Aaron Blanchfield by sub. I'm in on that.
That's
I'm
the sub one.
so in on that.
No,
I don't
wait a
think
minute.
we're never going to get a plus 450 on her sub again after this, in my opinion.
Agreed.
There was a recent fight where you said the same thing. We were like, it's never going to be this good of a number again. What was it? It wasn't Hamzat, was it? There's another fight. It reminds me of this. Who?
I'm blanking.
PFL. Francis Ngannou. Thank you.
Oh,
Francis Ngannou money line. We were like, we're never getting this fucking number again, right? And now he's never going to be under minus 600 in the PFL, in my opinion. Who's he going to fight that he's not minus 600 against?
Maddie, check Telegram. Do we have the same exact cycle parlay thought again? Are we on the same exact wavelength with this again?
So yes, but I want to debate. I want to get the chat involved for the KO one.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm still on the fence, but I'm definitely all right. So we're going Aaron Blanchfield by submission.
Yep, and then Marc-André by decision, right?
And we're going with the Canadian by decision, which he's got to do his job, but not do his job too well. Just do just enough on the cards. Okay, that already has us at 15-1. Okay. Yep. So now if we add a third leg in here, here are options, boys. Chat. I want you guys all in the chat. Tell us what you like. We need a KO. We need a KO leg. Our options here are Denise by KO.
Yep.
Mike Malott by KO. Excuse me. And I think those are our only options. Or Zahabi.
I definitely don't think that's in that.
I just have to look just out of curiosity what that
it's
would
10-1, bro. It's 10-1.
No, I know. That would put us at 177-1. I think it's Malott, dude. It's meant to be Mike Malott. Think about it. It's a bounce back spot for Mike Malott in Canada after losing. He's getting out there and he's getting a massive KO on the feet. It's gonna be a knockdown on the feet. And he ain't even jumping on the neck. He's going to put him away with TKO on the ground. Let's fucking run it. Mike Malott by KO. We
have 5 Malott votes to 1 Denise vote. I think the number sucks too.
It's the number. Yeah, it's the number.
It was meant to be what I sent in.
I'm going to put this in right after this, boys. All right, here we go. Oh, my God, dude. It's plus 5,600.
It's over 50-1 again, which is exactly where we like to keep it, right?
We got to add the last one. Oh, no, that's the same parlay. All right, hold on. Where's the...
They're getting it.
Where's the background, though? We need the cycle background. Are you crafting the graphic as we speak? I can't wait for this one, bro. I'm telling you, right after this show, I'm going right over to put it in. Because I'm also hammering Kaio.
Yeah, we keep hitting... I like Kaio money line as well. I like it a little better than Inside the Distance.
Yeah.
Don't listen to peasants. Do what you feel. Luckily, Maddie and I are both at number leaning Malott over. I feel like Denise KO minus 110 is a tough number. When I would put decision more likely than that with the KO split, Maddie. I think I'd make Denise KO like plus 170 compared to decision plus 600. Like that's how I do. All right, so we got the cycle parlay up there. Aaron Blanchfield sub, Marc-André Barrios decision.
Yeah,
I'm putting this in chat as well.
I got to see what my number is going to end up being, bro. It's going to depress me because it's going to be way less than FanDuel.
I get to track FanDuel, so.
Blanchfield subs plus 450. That's a good start.
That is a good start.
Let's see the next one. What's Marc-André's plus 195 on there? Let me see what I get on that one.
All right. Why did my comment?
Oh, plus 175. What's the last one?
I thought you might get rinsed there a little bit.
Malott KO. This is the determining factor right here.
Hopefully sub is juiced more.
Plus 230, bro. It's so depressing, dude. I hate being in Florida. Plus 4,900.
Oh, it's 50-1.
I mean, the thing is for me is I'm not losing. If it wins, I'm not losing out on anything because I'm just putting more dollars to get it to where I want it to be anyways.
Yeah.
But if I lose the bet, then I'm losing more on it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
We don't have to worry about that if we just
we're smacking, bro.
Yeah,
this is smacking, bro. And I might here's what I need to see here. Bro, what if I did? You ready for this?
Yeah.
I'm most dangerous guy here. I got a gun for everyone. I everybody.
Smash everybody, buddy.
Do that again.
Everybody, buddy. I'm just gonna smash everybody. I respect Robbie, but gonna smash everybody.
Man,
buddy.
let me tell you something. Hey, Gilbert, since you fought he, you know better.
Going to the sports books, we're smashing.
Yeah.
Boys. Hold on.
What you got?
All right, you ready for this?
Yes.
3,000. Oh wait.
Just wanted to let anybody that is new to our show that doesn't know, that's the Show Me the Money podcast with Renato Moicano, Gilbert Burns, and obviously you saw my guy Matty Betts. That recordings of that usually air Wednesdays, right, Matty? Tuesday.
Yes. Wednesday.
Yeah, it is Wednesdays as well. So
Tonight, yeah.
Yeah, so
it should be up on YouTube right now, actually.
It should be up on YouTube right now. If you want to check that out, it's Show Me the Money, also part of the Home of Fight podcast feed. We got the Die Hard MMA podcast with Clint on Mondays as well here. Want to plug that for my guy, Matty. As well as in the description here, we'll have the Home of Fight Discord where you can get my bets, Matty's bets. We have a lot of good things going there, as well as some premium picks. I know my guy JJ from Octagon Kings holding down the fort as well. So please subscribe to our Discord for all of those picks as well if you want to stay involved with the Homo Fight family. Matty, what did you have to update us on? What were you doing there?
3,000 pays 150 racks, bro. Should I do it?
You are going up in weight because you got one through the hope. We were equally in line with this one as we were last week, so hopefully we can duplicate the result north of the border. I thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Let me double check. I know we've got a show next week because I will be on the Die Hard podcast with Clint McClain on Monday breaking down UFC Vegas 100, and then Maddie and I will do that same thing here on Wednesday. So UFC Vegas 100, kind of a special holiday, the 100th post-COVID card there at the Apex. We will have a preview show for that, no matter how depressing it might be. But until next time, guys, we hope all of your bets cash. We are hoping to hit the cycle again this week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
20,000 pays $1 million, bro.
You going for $1 million? You going for $1 million?
20,000 pays $1 million, bro.